welcome sport fans to another edition of National Football Highlights with America's top TV sports announcer, Harry Wismer. Have you seen this week's edition of Look magazine? When you get your copy, be sure to turn to page 88 and read about the sportsman on the spot. It's fascinating reading about America's all-American sports announcer, Harry Wismer.
Many thanks to the publisher, editors, writers, and photographers of Look magazine. I'm deeply aware of, and I think most all America knows of, the splendid job they have been doing for American sports, which is to say, American youth. Now let's settle back in your favorite TV 50-yard line box seat as we view the highlights of this week's professional football games. Chicago fans got a look at those mighty Cleveland Browns as they arrived in Comiskey Park for a clash with the Chicago Cardinals. It turned out to be a trying experience for the Cardinals and their fans alike. Otto Graham opens the throttle on the Cleveland Steamroller with a short pass to Ken Carpenter, who goes for a first down on the Chicago 26. Dub Jones bolts through a hole in the Cardinal line and dives into the end zone as the Browns go out in front of the sixth play of the game. Cleveland 7, Chicago nothing. After the kickoff, the Cards try to move upfield. Elmer Angsman snares a pitch out, is hit hard by two burly Browns and fumbles. Thompson falls on the pigskin, and the Browns take over on the Chicago 33. On the very next play, Dub Jones finds that same hole and scampers through for 13 yards to the Card 20. Cleveland's Otto Graham with great protection takes careful aim, fires a bullet pass to Danny Lavelli to put the Browns in the 9. A few plays later, Otto Graham knifes over guard to finish off the drive he started. Lou Groza boots. The scoreboard reads Cleveland 14, Chicago nothing. The Redbirds come right back on the arm of Jim Hardy. He rifles one to Don Stonecipher, who is immediately dumped on the 49. Stonecipher grabs another Hardy pass, good to the Brown 33. The Cardinals move to the 19, and from there, Hardy lets go a whistling aerial that is fielded by Frank Polsfoot, who hustles right out across that final stripe, and the Cardinals cut the Cleveland lead in half. Cleveland 14, Chicago 7. Shortly after the kickoff, Gillum punts. It's a towering end-over-ender. Don Paul is under it, but his hands touch the ball. Harry Giacchetti nails him, and the ball is loose. Cole falls on the leather for the Browns to put them in possession on the Cardinal 30. Then, as the second quarter begins, automatic Lou Groza swings his talented toe to make it Cleveland 17, Chicago 7. The Cardinals move right back upfield after the kickoff. Bill Cross takes the ball in the old Statue of Liberty play and sweeps wide to his own 38. Then Hardy pitches a perfect strike to Bill Cross, who is rolled up on the Brown 33 after a 29-yard gain. Hardy keeps right on pitching as he drops a spot pass over the middle that is snapped up by Don Stonecipher on the Brown 13. The Cards send Cliff Patton back for a field goal try. It's good, and the Cards once again narrow the Brown lead. Cleveland 17, the Cardinals 10. The Browns strike back. Graham flips to Dub Jones, and he twists his way to the Chicago 44. With a minute left to go in the half, Otto Graham standing in the 35, heaves a long one into the end zone. Danny Lavelli is there, and at halftime the Browns are out in front. Cleveland 24, Chicago 10. Early in the third quarter, Hardy fades back to pass. He heaves. Alex Agassiz intercepts. He laterals to Tommy Thompson, who laterals to Tony Adamley, who is herded out of bounds by a quartet of Redbirds on the Chicago 47. Mickey McBride's Browns keep moving as Dub Jones slams up the middle to the Cardinals 6. And Otto Graham squeezes into the end zone to make it Cleveland 31, Chicago 10. In the fourth quarter, Lou Groza adds a three-pointer for Cleveland while the Cardinals come back with a touchdown to make the final tally Cleveland 34, Chicago 17. The Browns hold on to first position in the American Conference. Jimmy Phelan's New York Yankees invaded the Polo Grounds and met the mighty hometown Giants head-on in a thrilling and crushing interconference gridiron struggle before 25,000 frosted fans. In the first quarter, the Giants' Chuck and Charlie Connolly drops back, heaves into the flat. Bob McChesney wraps it up for 12 yards before stepping out of bounds on the Yank 20. Failing to reach pay dirt, Ray Poole steps back and neatly splits the uprights with a field goal to give the Giants a 3-0 lead. Moments later, the Yanks march goalward. Bob Solari goes back to pass. He has plenty of time to spot his receiver. He throws, and George Taliaferro is there. And the former Indiana Flash sprints all the way down to the Giant 1-yard line. Taliaferro is given the responsibility, and over he goes as he crashes the Giant forward wall to rack up the Yanks' first score. The extra point is good, and the Yanks lead 7-3. After the kickoff, the Giants' Charlie Connolly cranks his right arm into action. Behind a wall of protection, he sends a mighty heave downfield. Bob McChesney makes a beautiful catch. He fights for more yardage and is brought to a halt on the Yank 18. 3 plays left the Giants only 1 yard. So Ray Poole again splits the uprights with a perfect field goal, and the Giants move to within 1 point of the Yanks. Yankees 7, Giants 6. Near the end of the first period, the Yankees penetrate to the Giant 43, but Bob Solari's aerial goes astray. Giant Tom Landry takes it on his own 45, and letting his blockers do the work, he proceeds to thread his way through the bewildered Yanks to go over for the score. Ray Poole converts, and the scoreboard now reads 13-7 Giants at the end of the first period. Early in the second quarter, Ray Poole boots his third field goal, and the Giants now lead 16-7. After the kickoff, the Yanks failed again. George Taliaferro boots to the Giant 34, where Emlyn Tunnell signals for a fair catch. After a 9-yard gain, Connolly fades deep, lets fly with a long aerial far upfield. Joe Scott performs a nifty leaping catch, and he's off to complete a 57-yard scoring play. Poole again converts, and the Giants move to a 23-7 advantage. Near the end of the half, George Taliaferro drops back into the pitching spot. He fires straight over the middle. Danny Edwards is there, and the Yanks have a first down on the Giant 9-yard line. Sally Toth picks up 4. Then Sherm Howard bulldozes his way through the Giant forward wall for the touchdown. Harvey Johnson converts, and the half ends with the score Giants 23, Yanks 14. Johnson adds a field goal at the beginning of the second half to put the Yanks back in the ball game, trailing by only 6 points. Johnson kicks off and now gets set for the play of the game. Waiting in the end zone, Emlyn Tunnell gathers it in, sprinting straight up the middle. He squeezes through the Yanks secondary and races all the way to complete a 100-yard touchdown thriller. The extra point is good, and the Giants lead 30-17. Hold on to your seats. Here we go again. Ray Poole kicks off. Little Buddy Young grabs it on the 10, and he too heads straight up the middle. Slipping and dodging his way through the Giants, he breaks into the clear, and there's no one who can catch him as he crosses for the score. Johnson converts, and the Yanks are back in the ball game with 24 to the Giants 30. Shortly after the kickoff, Charlie Connolly fades to pass. He's almost smothered, but he gets it away. Bob McChesney makes a fine shoestring catch to put the ball in the Yank 25 at the end of the third quarter. After moving to the 1, Eddie Price bolts through a huge hole to score 6 more. The extra point is good, and the Giants lead 37-24. The Yanks fight right back. Bob Solari, with a world of time, drops a 24-yard aerial into the arms of Danny Edwards, and the Yanks are on the Giant 1. Fullback Sally Toth plunges through and over to add another 6 points for the Yanks. Then Harvey Johnson kicks his 120th successive extra point, but the spirited Yanks bow to the New York Giants 37-31. 32,000 stormed Griffith Stadium in the heart of the nation's capital to watch the Washington Redskins go into a powwow with the visiting Chicago Bears. In the first period, the Bears hustle into the Indian reservation when quarterback Steve Ramanek pitches the pass in the flat, complete to George Gulianix, who spins to the Redskin 46. On the next play, Ramanek hands the ball off to halfback Billy Stone, who swings to his left, finds plenty of wide open spaces, and scampers for 32 yards down to the Redskin 14. Then John Dotley turns, slams it in reverse, and blasts for 6 yards. At this point, the Redskins massacre 3 Bear line charges, so George Blanda splits the uprights for the field goal that gives Chicago a 3-point edge. In the second period, it's the Redskins' ball on their own 41, with the ageless Sammy Ball back to pass. He looks, he throws, complete to George Thomas. Thomas is hit, loses the ball, and Brad Rowland recovers for Chicago. Now with the ball on the Redskin 38, the Bears' great quarterback Johnny Lujack connects with George Gulianix, who places a paw in the face of Neil Farris and scoots up the far sidelines to put the ball on the Washington 5-yard stripe. Florida's Chuck Hunsinger picks up the 5 remaining yards with little trouble, and it's Chicago 10, Washington nothing. With only 2 minutes remaining in the first half, the Bears come stalking into Redskin territory again. On a pitch out, John Dotley picks up 20 yards, putting the ball on the Redskin 38. 2 plays later, Steve Ramanek is back in the game and heaves a long pass downfield. Gene Schroeder is there to wrap it up on the Redskins 7. Ramanek again drops back, lobs the ball over the middle. Don Kent has it and drops into the end zone. Chicago 17, Washington nothing at the halftime intermission. Regardless of the score, these Washington Lovelies can still find something to dance about. Start of the third quarter, Bears ball on their own 30. Julie Rykovich swings to his left, heads upfield, but the action gets rough and tumble. Rykovich fumbles, and the Redskins' big John Batacheski dives in to recover. From midfield, the Oklahoma Mule Train, Leon Heath, lowers his head, drives to the Chicago 40. The Redskins appear determined to do something about that lopsided scoreboard. Bob Good on the pitch out, gets behind some mighty downfield blocking, rolls all the way to the Bears' 19 before he's crumpled up. The Redskins are still on the warpath. Bob Good dives into the Bear line to make it first down on the Chicago 7. Now the Redskins have 4 downs to put it across. First, Heath is piled up at the line of scrimmage. Second down, Good attempts to sweep right in, but Bear tackle Cowan comes out of nowhere to break it up. Third down, 4 yards from a touchdown. The Redskins send Good into the line for a 2-yard pickup. Fourth down, Bear linebacker Don Kent quickly snuffs out Leon Heath's attempt to flank the line. Chicago holds in the mighty goal line stand, and the scoreboard remains unchanged. Moments later, it's the Bears in punt formation. Ex-Ohio Stater Curly Morrison sends a high wobbling kick upfield. Bill Dudley has it, and he hasn't, and the Bears recover at midfield. It doesn't take the Bears long to capitalize on this break for a series of line plunges who moves the ball all the way down to the Redskin 12. Then Julie Rykovich weaves his way through the line into the Redskin secondary, stakes another claim in the Redskin reservation. Near the end of the game, the Bears add a field goal to make the final score Chicago 27, Washington nothing. For the Redskins, a winning streak snapped. For the Bears, undisputed first place in the National Conference. At Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, with United Nations veterans as their guests, the Single Wing Steelers took on the Philadelphia Eagles in an all-Pennsylvania clash. Early in the first quarter, the Birds find themselves back to their own 19, and Adrian Burke punts out of danger. Pittsburgh's Howard Hartley takes it on the Steeler 44 and gets 6 yards into Eagle territory before he is stopped. Pittsburgh drives to the Philadelphia 29. Then Chuck Ortman cuts inside end for 11 yards to the 18. With the Birds refusing to give up any more ground, Joe Gary attempts a field goal. It's good! And the end of the first quarter finds the Steelers leading the Eagles 3-0. In the second period, Burke passes for the Eagles from deep in his own territory. It's intercepted by Jerry Shipke, and he races across the goal line to make it Steelers 10, Philadelphia Eagles nothing. Now it's the Steelers backed up to their own goal line. Joe Gary punts. The ball bounces to midfield. Dan Sandifer scoops it up, puts on a classy performance as he carries all the way to the Pittsburgh 26. Two plays later, Burke steps back from the 22 and heaves a long one right where Bob Walston can snare it as he crosses the goal line, and Philadelphia is in the ball game. Steelers 10, Eagles 7. Moments later, the Steelers are again forced to kick. This time, Gary punts from the 10. It goes way upfield, but that man Sandifer is there again to come loping back into Pittsburgh territory, moving to the 39. Burke takes to the air once more, spots Pete Pihos, and hits him for a first down on the 25. Burke sticks to the airways, and Pihos makes a beautiful catch in the end zone as the Eagles lead the Steelers at halftime, 14-10. In the third quarter, the Steelers begin to roll. Chuck Ortman back to pass, spots an opening, and races to the 47. On the next play, Lynn Shadnoy goes wide for a first down on the Eagle 41. But the Eagles won't budge, and again, Joe Gary provides a perfect placement to narrow their lead to 1 point. Eagles 14, Steelers 13. Moments later, the ball game breaks wide open. Burke passes from the Pittsburgh 33, intended for Walston. He can't get it, but the officials rule interference by Jack Butler of the Steelers, and the Eagles are on the 3 in spite of Steeler protests. Then Burke sends Van Buren crashing across the goal line to vault the Eagles into a 20-13 lead over the Steelers of Pittsburgh. But wait, that isn't all. On the first play after the kickoff, the Steelers' Ortman fumbles. Jerry Cowig snatches up the loose pigskin and romps in to pay dirt as the Eagles score twice in 30 seconds. Eagles 27, Pittsburgh Steelers 13. Late in the game, the Eagles pile on another tally as Burke passes to Sandifer, who turns in one of the best runs of the day, bowling over Steelers right and left and making the final score. Eagles 34, Steelers 13 to keep the Eagles in championship contention. In Green Bay, Wisconsin, Old Man Weather, the hometown Packers, and the visiting Detroit Lions fought a three-way battle over a frozen field. The Packers are first on the scoreboard when Fred Cohn sends the ball hurtling through the enemy uprights to score a Green Bay field goal. Moments later, the Packers come right back for more. From his own 45, Tobin Rote flips a screen pass to Ray Palfrey. Play good for 25 yards, and the one that puts the Packers well within scoring range. 3 plays later, Rote steps back, again looks for a receiver. He aims, he fires. Bob Mann pulls it in and bowls his way over the Detroit goal line. But hold on, there's a penalty on the play. There's no score, and the disappointed Green Bay fans settle back in their seats. So the Packers try it all over again. Rote is back, but so are 2 charging Lions to break up the play and end this Packer march. In the second quarter, the Lions are let loose. Bobby Lane pitches, Pat Harder receives, and before they can permanently bring him down, Harder stretches across the Green Bay 25-yard stripe. Three running plays fail, so Doak Walker boots a field goal, and the score is knotted at 3-all. Now watch one of the most bizarre plays of the afternoon. It's the Packers' ball. Bob Thomason drops back, flings a pass to Tony Canadeo. The blonde blizzard turns and heads for the far sidelines. The 30, the 25. At the 20, he's slammed to the ground. Suddenly, Lion halfback Jay Christensen gets an armload of pigskin and knows just what to do with it. Gathering speed in a long loping stride, Christensen runs for 50 yards before he's pushed out of bounds on the Green Bay 30 and up in the snow. Then the Lions follow up that spectacular running play with a spectacular scoring play. Bobby Lane heaves it. Leon Hart juggles it, keeps it, and scores the game's first touchdown. Detroit leads 10-3. In the final period, the Lions threaten again from the Green Bay 30. Doak Walker cuts to his right, looks for a pass receiver. There's no one in the clear, so the Doker cradles the ball and gallops to the Green Bay 13. Then Lion halfback Hornchy Hornschmeyer plows straight up the middle to lay the ball in the Packer doorstep. Penalty puts the Motor City boys back to the 20, but Bobby Lane makes it all up in one mighty heave. Big Leon Hart pulls the ball down in the end zone, and it's Detroit 17, Green Bay 3. But those Packers are far from being down and out. Roth pitches out to Freddie Cohn, who's off on a 35-yard gallop along the far sidelines. Packers stick to the ground in a successful march to Detroit's 25. Then Roth finds the mark again. Tony Canadeo is the target, and it's first down Packers with goal to go. After 3 plays, the ball rests on the 1-foot line. Then Fred Cohn dives over for the score. 2 more touchdowns were added in this period, 1 for each team, and when the chilly Green Bay spectators got up to go, the big scoreboard read Detroit Lions 24, Packers 17. Huge Los Angeles Coliseum, 56,000 witnessed an encore between the Rams of Los Angeles and the San Francisco 49ers. Last week, the 49ers came out on top. This week, the cheering Los Angeles crowd doesn't want to see it happen again. Early in the game, from the Ram 30-yard line, a Waterfield to Towler pass picks up 30 yards and puts the ball on the 49er 40. 3 plays gain nary a yard, so it's Waterfield back to attempt a 35-yard field goal. The ball is down. The kick is up in the air. It's good. The Rams are off to a 3-point lead. And that's not all. Moments later, after a recovered fumble, the Rams are again in the 49er camp. Fullback Dick Horner drives straight up the middle to put the ball in the 14. Then Vitamin T. Smith takes a Waterfield handoff, finds a gaping hole in the line, and blasts into the 49er secondary before he's finally rolled up at the 2. And a quarterback sneak. Bob Waterfield follows his burly center into the end zone, and it's Los Angeles out in front, 10-0. But hang on to your hats. Here's a play that gives the Frisco fans a chance to cheer. That man bowling his way through Ram tacklers is Joe the Jet Perry, and he's off on a sensational 58-yard gallop up the far sidelines, faking and dodging tacklers, and finally hurtling into the Ram end zone. Score Los Angeles 10, San Francisco 7. It's the 49ers ball on their own 42. Y.A. Tittle drops back. He looks. He throws. But an alert Ram defender named Don Paul winds up with the ball and delivers it to the Frisco 30. Then Bob Waterfield's right arm snaps into action. His pass is complete to Elroy Hirsch to put the ball in the 16. 3 Waterfield passes are not enough for a first down. What he can't do with his arm, he does with his toe. His field goal is good, and it's Rams 13, 49ers 7. In the second half, the 49ers come right back. Joe Perry sweeps to his right, picks up momentum, and slams into the Ram defenders for a 20-yard pickup. Then Frankie Albert tucks the ball under his arm, fakes a forward pass, and sweeps the other end for 11 more. A powerful ground march puts the ball to rest in the Los Angeles 7. Then the ex-Stanford quarterback Frankie Albert, on a bootleg play, sweeps the left end of the Los Angeles line and sprints into the end zone. The extra point is no good, but the seesaw scoring is balanced at 13 all. With seconds remaining in the third quarter, Waterfield drops back to his 25, lobs a pass over the line, but it's short-circuited by 49er defender Jim Cason, and the quarter ends with San Francisco in possession deep in Los Angeles territory. When a stubborn Ram defense stops the 49er march at the 2, Gordon Soltaw drops an 11-yard field goal squarely between the uprights, and the 49ers go out in front for the first time, 16-13. Midway through the final period, the Rams bounce right back and bring the crowd to its feet on the longest scoring play of the day. Waterfield's long pass is gathered in by Elroy Hirsch on the 49er 40, and Crazy Legs sprints all the way for the touchdown. The extra point is missed, but the Rams again go out in front 20-16. Moments later, San Francisco's George Strickland fumbles on a line play, and rookie Jim Winkler recovers for L.A. There's not much time remaining. This may be an opportunity for the Rams to build their slim lead, and Bob Waterfield is a man who will attempt to do just that. Davis takes the pass from center. Waterfield's foot comes through to send the ball squarely between the uprights. The scoreboard lights up the final score. Rams 23, 49ers 16, and is everybody happy in Los Angeles? This is Harry Wismer saying so long for now. Meet me here next week, same time, same channel, when National Football Highlights will bring you from Chicago the battle between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. From Los Angeles, the Chicago Cardinals against the aerial circus of the Rams. The high-scoring Yanks against those rampaging 49ers in San Francisco. From Pittsburgh, the clash between the hard-hitting Steelers and the Green Bay Packers. From the Polo Grounds, New York, the football Giants against the Redskins. And from Cleveland, the Philadelphia Eagles attempt to knock over the league-leading Browns.